What's going on, guys? This is Grim Reaper bringing you guys another session of the Boar's Hat podcast. Today we're covering chapter 302 of the Nanatsu no Taizai. The greatness has returned after a hiatus, and we finna get real credulous in this one, bro. Real credulous. What are your guys' opinions on the chapter? What did you think? How did you feel? What did you like? What did you not like? Titties? Were there enough titties? Were there not enough titties? Well, what's going on, guys?
Fang, you want to start top to bottom?
Sure. I
Yeah.
will start. Why not? 302, pretty good chapter. I'd say 8 out of 10. For me personally, pretty good. Good action, solid art. And in terms of theories, though, at the end, for some reason, Nakapozuki drews like Elizabeth's left theory like bigger than the right for whatever reason. And that's all I gotta say.
Now I gotta go back and look at it.
Look at
because
the
you
right
put-
now.
No, like seriously, look. Because look, I'm a theory connoisseur, so I noticed that shit instantly.
My
But,
goodness.
It'd be one of
Go,
those things.
go
It'd be
back
like
and
that.
look.
Oh shit! Damn, yeah. Ah.
That is
know-
one big titty.
You know, that's actually a natural thing that some chicks go through, and maybe you guys should be talking about it because maybe it's actually
shut your ass up,
subconscious.
bro.
Maybe the left titty is
It-
smaller because the right
it
titty
is
has
a
to be
thing.
bigger because that's where the eye thing was. Like right titty, right eye has to be bigger.
Every single woman's actual breasts are technically one is always bigger than the other. So
See? I
Yeah,
told
but I'm
you.
saying in this picture, it looks like the right one
Oh,
is
yeah.
bigger because like her arm is like grabbing him or going across her body. That
Breast
Well, I mean,
up,
obviously
yeah.
it's pressed up against him.
yeah.
The way it's supposed to be. The way it's supposed to
Where's
be.
she? Where's she going with putting his arm? Like,
Where do you think? Where do you think?
It's like, come on.
I mean,
Little
they
fun
haven't seen each
time.
other in so much. She's like, yo, right now.
This
I
is
mean,
a
shit.
lovely way to start the book.
In my head right now? Shit, in my head right now? In front of all my friends and my father? Come on, lady. I thought we were punished enough. I guess not.
She's like, I've got less than 24 hours. We're doing this thing.
I'm using it.
Yeah.
He said one day. I'm using it.
One day to pound. Just to pound. Just pounding. Doesn't say bye to nobody, just goes out like that.
So what was your rating on the chapter, Fang? Overall, like out of 10.
Like I said, at 8. I mean, shit, maybe that's how she dies. Some more fucking.
Just like the male bumblebee dies during sex.
There you go.
Are you serious?
What's up, Green?
So I thought the chapter was actually it's pretty good. I agree with Fang. Like I don't see a whole lot of problems.
Wait,
To
really?
me,
Wait, yo. Really? Does the male bumblebee die like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it breaks off, too.
Ah!
Oh, shit.
Ah!
Yeah, it's kind of brutal. It's kinda
Ow!
It's not
Alright,
as bad as the
continue,
praying
continue.
mantis. Don't they have some like some shit where they fuck?
They
and then-
eat them.
Yeah.
They eat them.
She
Yeah.
eats the head.
Yeah, she bites their head off
Spiders.
after it's done.
Oh, bro.
The
Why?
spiders.
Not that head, like the actual
Female
head.
spiders are 3 times bigger than the male, and then
Yeah.
she eats him as a snack for the babies.
For
Yeah.
on dogs?
Yeah.
Y'all got me fucked up. Y'all got me fucked up. Y'all think, nature ain't about to get me like that. If I
Damn,
get
nature.
Oh,
if I get
you think?
if I get a tall glass of milk, right, I'm gonna drink the whole thing. The whole thing. Continue.
Yeah, go ahead, Green.
So-
That's a weird.
I'm just saying, man. No. But no, the chapter overall was pretty good. As far as titties go, I'll go with Fang on this one. But my problem is, sure, Elizabeth is looking fine, but Escanor's blocking Merlin, and fucking Gother and King's heads are in the way for Deanne. So like, no, not enough titties. There could have been 3 sets of titties in that shot, and I got 1. A good set, but only 1. I could have had 3. So I could have had 3, and all I got was 1. So I'm a little miffed.
The sinner's pair?
Yes,
Because it's
there you
actually
go.
3.
There you go. The only I'd give it a 7. Like I'm trying to rate this not on where I as I said, I don't really like the direction that the whole thing is going, but I'm trying to base it on a week to week basis, on just a sole chapter basis, not something like overall arc style. So overall I didn't mind the chapter, though there's still room for debate about the Demon King stuff, as far as is he in purgatory, is he not, sort of idea. People are still arguing that, so I don't know. 7 out of 10.
I'd probably go for an 8 out of 10, like Fang said, because this chapter did what other fights did badly. From my experience, I can't really think of an example off the top of my head, but like where they kind of go back and forth real quickly. And this had good pacing to it. You knew what was going on because that's usually where the traction kind of gets skewed when it's quick pace. So I definitely enjoyed that. Though there is one thing at the end of the chapter that I thought, oh well, that's leaving room for chaos. But we'll get into that later. Overall, enjoyed the chapter.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. Oh yeah. Tell me. Before we keep going. All right. So Naya D Hemmings, that motherfucking nigga, just hit 1,000 subs on his channel. Yay!
Congratulations.
Nigga put in that work, dog. Check out his content. Link is in the description. Hero Association niggas be putting in that motherfucking work, dog. Lions leading the motherfucking way, bro. Yeah, go ahead. Just slip that in.
I appreciate it. You know, it's been a long year, but it was a good chapter. I pretty much got what I expected. I didn't think the whole kind of friendship thing would have came as early as it did, where like the whole despair part. We won't get into it because we'll go like part by part. But it's pretty much what I expected. You kind of just swap back and forth, so I wasn't really shocked or blown away, but it was solid. I give it like a 7. That's it.
All right.
Not enough Zeldris.
Damn.
Not any at all, actually.
All right. My next or Grimm, is that you?
It's you.
I mean, you're all right. Shit, bet. All right. I'm gonna give this honestly 7.5 out of 8. First off, 7. Okay, first off, I just wanna
Pick a
note
number,
to-
dog. You fuck.
No, 7.5. Like close to an 8, but definitely deserves more than a 7. It's close to an 8, but definitely like it is more than a 7. Like no chapter is gonna be 9 unless it's Arthur. You already know that.
So
You
I should
already
just say
know
like
that.
7.5.
Well, then you may never
I
get
just
that
said.
9.
Oh,
Exactly. I'll never get that 9. So it is what it is. But overall, I love the chapter. Nakaba fight scenes are beautiful. I just want to point out we got 7 double page spreads. 7 double page spreads this chapter. Fucking 7 double page spreads of what straight what hands.
It's almost like
hands?
it was planned that way because it's called 7 Deadly Sins.
I wonder. Yeah, I wonder why. It's like,
damn, we really did 1, 2.
Yeah, like
3,
yo, like
4, 5, 6.
why
7,
like,
8, 9, 10. No, I counted 10.
10.
Bro.
You might be counting wrong because
On
I'm
the link
only
you
counting
posted.
on like I
it's
posted.
10.
Yeah, I'm counting.
All right,
7.
guys. If you have 8 apples and you take away 5, how many apples are we
bro.
really gonna have to do
Slap-
elementary
slap-
counting
slap-
again?
I don't know.
I
Go
counted
ahead.
7.
But but again, other than that, some things were interesting. Apparently, the space where the Demon King and Melius are fighting in is like the spirit world, or like apparently his soul, like they're inside of him. So apparently they're in
it's really his inner world.
his inner
mind
world, his realm, mind, space, body, soul, whatever you want to call it. He's in. They're all inside of him. Apparently, I don't know how. I don't know how.
I mean, we got a lot of in and out the chapter also with the Demon King thing with Ban and stuff like that. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
Hmm.
On the link that I just posted, this I'm assuming is the official trans. It says Mindscape, so I guess that's where they're at. Other than that, Bond, man, like how strong are you really gonna have to get? Like seriously, like you really had to like copy Gallon. Really, you had to copy Gallon with that one example of how powerful you are. You had to be like, oh, I can do this much damage. It goes this far out. Really, bullshit. I love it though. I love it. I love the whole fight. It's just the power of friendship is just like my back just started to just like get out of shape. Like the cringe just kind of hurt. So I don't know. But titties were alright. But I mean, I need more titty. I just need more titty. Like I'm sorry, I don't want to be disrespectful, but like I just need more titty. You know, I need like just more titty, more than 3 pairs. Like it needs like 5 or 6 pairs. It just it just feel sane at the end of the day. Like Jesus Christ, dude.
I'm telling you, that we were shy 2 pairs in that last panel. Just saying.
Like, can we get back to the Holy War? Like the one where like we're fighting against like a horde of demons, so we can see like like at least like 5 pairs of titties. Like I don't care if they're covered in blood or anything, dude. Like, come on.
God damn this.
So I love the chapter 2. I'll give it a pretty high rating. I don't know what number though. The Demon King was out there putting in that motherfucking work. Slowly, it's starting to become one of my favorite characters in the series. I got King, I got Meliodas, I got Bruticil. This nigga's creeping all up in there and shit. He's doing his thing. He put a combo. Bro, he put that combo hurting on Meliodas, bro. Bro. I think you seen that picture where Meliodas had like 7 lines. No, it was a whole like 10, 15 lines going through him every direction, bro. That was a combo that Demon King hit on that nigga, bro. So you know he got that speed and strength with him too. And then Meliodas was not letting up with shit neither, bro. He was dodging the fuck out this nigga, weaving everything he threw at him. He even pulled out a fucking another not an arc blade, a darkness blade, which is pretty fucking badass looking. He was using it too, and that also expands on the word of darkness and arc control that the angels and demons have, which is pretty cool and badass to see. I don't necessarily know how I feel about Bond, but I don't really care that much anymore. So I don't see him putting that motherfucking work, and he's doing that. The one thing that I guess is like I hinge my entire rating on is the quote where Bond says to the Demon King as he's on his knees. Let me see if I have it here. It says, "Are you having trouble controlling your son's body?" So I'm guessing this is Nakaba's way of referencing the turmoil that we've been discussing for about 3 to 4 chapters. So I guess the front or the confrontation of fighting in your mind and fighting in the physical body, while controlling the body of Meliodas from Purgatory, is actually the strain and the reason why he's having so much trouble fighting these 2 guys at the same time. So that's more understandable. It's an excuse. It works. I wish we would have had more information for that or whatever.
So kind of like a shitty Wi-Fi controller.
Something like that. Yeah, I guess for an aspect it would be something like that. Yeah, but it does clear up some things. I just don't know how much weight I should put on it. Wait to see what happens next, because I'm still under the perspective where like if you look at other mangas like One Punch for example, there's usually parts in the fight where like one of the sides is taking advantage or they're doing really really well, and for most of this fight it's been Bond and Meliodas, it seems, these past 2 chapters, 3 chapters or whatever. So I'm like, okay, when is the Demon King gonna pull out some shit to like overwhelm them again and like make it a perilous situation again? But I don't know if it's gonna be that way. We are getting close to the ending, and we haven't really gotten signs of that. We even just got the 730 Sins to assist Meliodas in his mind. So the Demon King may be defeated a lot quicker than what I thought it would be.
Well, actually, Grimm, I just on a quick note for that stuff, because I thought that this confirmed more or less that what I think you and I were agreeing on in the last one was correct, that he's no longer in purgatory, because on page 6, Meliodas states, "Give it up and get out of here. Don't you think your real body in purgatory is getting lonely?" So everybody's argument was, well, these are the 10 commandments coming forward and they have a mind of their own. That's the half of the Demon King that's there. I'm like, well, then how does this explain anything going on with Meliodas versus the Demon King himself, considering he just stated you should go back to your real body? I'm on the assumption the body's physically there and got nobody in it, and the fact that at the end of the chapter, Gother manages to do the mind fuckery like he did with Mael, like he did with Dreyfus and stuff. He went into the mind, clearly, of Meliodas or whatever, or the Demon King Meliodas at Bond's fighting, and that's how they're there. So this isn't in purgatory.
No, that's all right. So that's the part that gets complicated, and I'm glad you brought it up and said it in that way. So the way he described that, Griever just described it, and the information that we have, it seems that he's using a technique. This is what he's doing. Now, the problem is that he's also possessing the body of Meliodas. Now, there's so many different ways to explain this or to look at this. I'm gonna ask you guys all from Fang down to there's also your opinions on this, but like here's what I'm thinking. So we have both the technique that Gother has shown to be able to do multiple times, whether it's in Dreyfus' head, whether it's in Mayo's head. He can manifest himself inside of your psyche. We also know that all demons are able to possess other beings. So the fact that it was the possession was connected to the commandments, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to separate that instance. Is it that that person or the demon king was only able to possess that person because they had enough strength for him to do that, or is it some other explanation? That being aside, the main issue is that the demon king has a body that currently exists in purgatory, confirmed. People were saying that, oh, half of his body is split or he's split in two. That's not the case, and we can confirm now that it is his psyche, or it's his soul that's being possessed, that's possessing Meliodas' body. So how are you guys interpreting that, like that sentence or that confirmation, and the quote that was mentioned twice in all the translation that he that Meliodas has rejected you. Like the Demon King himself actually said, "Now that you've already rejected me," and shit like that. So, how are you taking those quotes into perspective, and what is that? What is that? What picture does that paint for you guys? Fang, if you lead the way.
Okay, well, actually, I think it's not that complicated. I think it's simple. By observing the Ten Commandments, the Demon King is basically able to transfer his consciousness between bodies. So, for example, right now his body in purgatory, I think it's not inhabited by his soul or his spirit or his consciousness, because that's Emilio's body right now currently. And with Ghost, I don't think he used the standard invasion, because invasion only allows him to project himself into the mind of his target. But if you remember, he used a spell which I don't remember the name of right now. But when they fought against Hendrickson, he was able to relay a command to everyone in like a split second about Mendoza's plan of using revenge counter. So I think he's using
Rewrite
the
light,
same
I think it
thing,
was, or searchlight, or one of those. I think something like that.
or
It is
rewrite light or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I don't remember.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's something akin to that, where he basically made a copy of everyone's like consciousness and transferred it into Demon Meliodas. And that's how he's able to basically assist him in his fight in the mindscape plane or inside Meliodas' mind. Again, like I think it's easy to understand. It's not really all that complicated. What I don't get is, and we'll probably talk about this later, is um, why is it that he only has one day to remain on Earth? That's what I don't get. I mean, is it the choice? Uh, is someone gonna force him to exit the Earth realm or something? Or like what? That's what I don't personally get.
Yeah, we're gonna hop on that. Like, you can only exist for one day. Shit. After this, because that's another. That's Nakaba once
Hmm.
again addressing the biggest plot or the One Piece for not Taizai, but uh
Yeah, because I mean, I don't think this will be the final fight because there's still so many things to reveal. Like again, Meliodas' original magic, a fucking bond sacred treasure, which we still don't know where the fuck that shit is, and because the Supreme Deity and the Demon King, sure they're referred to as gods, but they're not gods in the traditional sense of gods. They're just really strong demons and a really strong angel. But are there other gods that won't permit them to exist in the Earth realm and are forcing them to exit into another dimension simply because they're so powerful? I mean, that's what I wanted to be revealed or just explained. Because if that's the case, Bond's strong as fuck. Why is he able to remain in the Earth realm?
mhm.
Is he gonna be forced to exit? Like that's what I don't understand.
Kishin, could you give us your thoughts on the whole possession in the body thing?
I'd say it's kind of a Orochimaru situation where he found a new body, transferred his mind and soul over to it, because he said he's been cultivating Meliodas essentially for this reason. It's like, so his body is just in purgatory, just an empty shell. That's how I took it. So once he's rejected, just like with the archangels, how if they don't have a physical form to inhabit, they fade away. Hence why when the Demon King was like telling Meliodas back in purgatory, it's like, hey, you can't go back. You can't exist in that world anymore. It's because he's a spirit form right now. If he can't get to his body, because the Demon King was already going to possess it. So it's like, you ain't got no body. You ain't going to last long. So that, because this chapter really made all that click for me anyway. But yeah, I think it's just he's got a lifeless shell, and that kind of makes me worried about the others as well, because like at the end of the chapter we see them all in Meliodas' mind. Are their bodies without their souls at the moment? And if he can get Meliodas' body to cooperate long enough, Can he accidentally just kill them, even if he's like spazzing because trying to get the body to work?
Nah. Any thoughts?
I didn't. I honestly didn't get it, so I didn't. I just one of those things where I'm like, I'll think about it later. But you ever do that? You kind of just like just
Yeah.
reading like, do it. I'll read it later again and see what I feel.
Been doing that in the past 3 chapters.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in agreement with some of the things that have been said so far, but I really don't know. I don't know. I just, like I said, I just kind of was like, end of the day, somehow he's in 2 places at once, kind of thing, and we'll figure. I assumed when they kind of figure it out and gets his body back, maybe to make more sense. So I was just taking the wait and see approach. So I really don't have anything profound to say to this. I really don't.
All right. Zarza?
I'm gonna have to agree with Nye on this one. There's not really much to say. It seems pretty clear cut to me. Uh, the Demon King was like, "Yo, he can't see what's going on outside." Oh yeah, that's another thing too that I wanted to bring up. The fact that the Demon King was using evil monologue to actually move the story forward and actually like try and get his plan to move forward was actually pretty. It was actually pretty genius.
Villain shit.
That was actually pretty genius because you don't normally see that. It's like, oh, he's just monologuing for the sake of monologue, and then the hero is just going to use the chance for like as a villain monologues to kick his ass.
And it
okay,
worked.
right?
It fucking worked.
But in this case, it's actually no. Let me just actually fuck him up with my monologue. It'll be perfect because remember, Melios is not in control of his body. He wouldn't be able to see what's going on outside, and basically he got played by his old man. Like like the Demon King really does know how to punk his kids over and over and over and over, and like sometimes they don't even know when they're gonna get punked. It's honestly kind of but when it comes to the whole Gothra, I like how it's Gothra who actually gets them all inside of his head, only because it was Gothra who was the only other person who betrayed the Demon King back in the day. And I mean, that that whole thing that we were talking about earlier with how like Gothra had all the Knights of the Kingdom, know the plan and help Melios take down Hendrickson. That wasn't like an actual spell. It was kind of just like an app, like a basic application of his ability. It's all like, I can do stuff with minds. Like don't think too hard. It's like in a soft magic system like Taizai, there's a lot that you really shouldn't be thinking about too hard, because if you do, you're gonna give yourself a headache. Like it was designed to be like, it's like told in a way where you don't have to think too hard. Like Gother toss you in the mind. He projects your mind into his. He can just do that. Just kind of take it in stride. At least that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, there's no. Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
No, good.
No, I was just saying I'm kind of agreeing with that. Where it's just like it's somewhat magic for magic's sake. Where it's like you're not meant to overthink it at some points. Where it's like a lot of series like to kind of make their energy or magic system very intricate, but for a long running shonen, by the end of the series, it usually gets thrown out the window for the most part. Where it's like you can understand all the elements and how this and that does this, but at the end of the day, it's like this makes beam, this makes fucking fire beam. Like it's all you really need to know. So like the intricate parts of it doesn't really matter too much in the long run, except for like very like there's obviously exceptions, but I'm just saying like I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say real quick that yeah, when it comes to like like these magic system and everything, like you do have hard and soft. Like Black Clover would be considered more hard compared to like.
All right, we're done with that. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. No. We're not pushing that narrative whatsoever.
No.
Any comparisons with that?
Nah.
Let me finish. Nah, nigga. Fuck all that shit. Look. I can agree to a point. Nah.
Could you hold on for a second?
Nah. All right, go ahead.
All right. So, the aspect of how Taizai's magic system is soft is the fact that it's like you really just felt like you design your magic and that's about it. It's like you're full counter. You design full counter and that's how full counter works. You don't have to think about it too hard because it has its basic elements and everything, right? And then you have someone else like. Again, you're not supposed to focus too hard on it. It's just like how a magic is set up, not like the intricacies of like what is stronger than what and who is stronger than who. Like it's like that's not how it really is supposed to be. At least on like a softer magic system side. And again, like you're given like a leeway to do some things and kind of like get further because again, like Gother being able to like use magic on the Demon King kind of shouldn't really happen. But at the same time, it's like it's not like he's attacking the Demon King. He's just entering the body's mind. It's not like he's really trying to forcefully attack. And we all know that so long as you attack the Demon King, that's what's going to give him a power up, right?
Um,
So it all works. It all works.
No, actually, not really. Because if that were the case, Boar wouldn't have been able to inflict damage on it. So I'm not really sure if he has his magical ability right now.
I can agree to a certain extent that for example, the manner in which the Demon King is doing this current feat doesn't necessarily matter. We just know that he can do it, and they've told us how it is. But for the sake of being hardcore fans, this is an identifiable technique. Like it does have very similar traits to things that we've seen before. So I, as a fan, would want to know like exactly what it may be, or would want to identify it. That's why like I would try and like figure out the characteristics. Like for example, Fang brought up earlier, rewrite light. That was mainly used against Hendrickson, against Mayo, and I believe another time where he was sharing ideas or sharing plans, like the scheme that Derriere had in her mind, and then that concept it was sharing an idea. So I'm not sure if it works directly into that, but it also I'm not sure if it can be possession because if you remember when Fraudrin possessed Dreyfus or Hendrickson, and once he was expelled, he had a physical form. So they may have to like actually use their physical bodies, in exception to like the goddesses, which their instance was they didn't have a physical body; they were forming it, so they couldn't really go back into it. So that's why I think this does fit in the category of a separate technique. Maybe how Kishin was saying that it may be associated with the unification of the commandments. That's not confirmed yet. We just know that this technique has similarities to
When the
Rewrite
hell
Light.
did I say anything about the commandments?
Yeah, you mentioned that this is happening because he had the commandments, or was it Naya? I'll give the credit to Naya. Fuck it, Naya
It wasn't me, trust me.
Yeah.
But it
Crazy.
seems like it may be leaning towards that category, and because this guy technically knows all the secrets of the demon world, all the spells, I can't say I couldn't put it past him to know something that Gowther did or something that somebody else could already do and be doing the same thing. That's why I'm like trying to figure it out. But we can put that aside. Let's hop on to the second point. Speculation on why Meliodas has to leave in one day.
Would have to what? You kind of cut out on me at the end.
Quick speculation on why Meliodas has to leave in one day.
This is God, and it's a mortal plane. Like, I think Fang brought up the fact that these aren't traditional godlike beings that we know, yet nonetheless they are ridiculously powerful based on the world we know in Taizai. And I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it's because the Demon King's power isn't something that can be sustained on Earth for an
Okay, but why
extended
though?
length of time.
Yeah,
Uh,
something.
Maybe his very presence starts to break the world apart. I don't know. Maybe it's just something that can't like remember right now we're surrounded by very powerful individuals. But what would happen if the Demon King set foot? Remember when the Ten Commandments kind of showed up and they showed up and a bunch of people just like all of a sudden everybody felt the fear and a lot of the normal citizens dropped to their knees. I think it was Gallon or somebody showed up.
Yeah.
Like because there's very pressure. Now what do you think's gonna happen if the fucking god of those demons shows up and does the exact same thing in a newer, younger, powerful body? Like maybe it's a consequence. Maybe like it breaks apart or something. That's the only reason I can think of is that
Well, with the ruler having like the opposite effect of everything around it, so like, heck, he might turn freaking air into miasma for all we freaking know. So
I
the
mean,
whole
is that what he
universe.
did? Shit, isn't that what he did with his little energy storm? When we think about it,
I
Not
mean,
really.
just casually walking through Britannia, he might just be killing everybody, and just because of his existence.
I kind of do
My
want to
re-
put my cards into what he said, where it's like the Yamamoto effect that by him existing, he erodes away like the existence around him. But
hold on.
Okay, but
real quick,
so what? Like,
wait,
who
wait,
regulates all of this thing?
say again.
real quick. I want to. Yeah, Fan, go ahead.
Sure, go. No, go.
All right. I was just gonna say real quick, exactly what was gonna make the Demon King, or what was gonna allow the Demon King to exist in Britannia, that purging the commandments from Meliodas causes him to leave. Like, what is it? Like, cause think about it, right? The Demon King was like, okay, I'm gonna take over your body, and I'm gonna be the Demon King in your body. Okay, now you're gonna kick me out. Now you can't stay either. How? Like what? How come the Demon King gets to stay but Meliodas can't? That's my question right now. Because it doesn't really add up. If the power of the Ten Commandments is the reason why Meliodas is so powerful, then if it's purged, then he should be good. But Demon King said, no, now that you have my power, you won't be able to stay. Maybe the Demon King is just using all of his words to really try and, manipulate his son. Because I'm thinking that this guy is saying whatever he can to get Meliodas to just not look his way as he schemes against him over and over and over. Because at this point it's all like some things just don't add up.
But Zarso, wasn't it Meliodas who brought up when he was leaving Purgatory? He was the one who told the Demon King, I know by activating my original magical power that I'm basically condemning myself to not be able to live on Earth pretty much anymore. I thought he stated that.
Again, it goes to my original question. Why is that? Like, who regulates that? Okay, so for example, the Demon King, let's just say, is an entity that will destroy everything, right? Will destroy the planet, like whatever, fuck it, for the sake of argument. Who gives a shit? Are there other higher gods, higher beings that look at it and say, nope, you're too strong, fuck off? Like, who is the regulator? Who looks at that and goes, no?
Is it like some natural force that like fuck, there's an example of this in some kind of fiction. I've seen it before.
Well, it's balance. You have chaos and balance. We know the Mother of Chaos is around. Maybe there's a balance god in between Mama Hawk and the Supreme Deity and them. And at the end of the day, if there's an unequal balance in the world, there's got to be a certain amount of chaos. That's why war and the demons and goddesses fight. But there also needs to be a certain level of balance. It can't be tipped.
Actually, we don't know why they just always did it.
No, we don't. Not at all. But I'm just speculating that potentially there is a balance goddess or balance god somewhere in here that works in tangent, like a yin yang effect with the Mother of Chaos sort of idea. Maybe there's the Father of Balance, and they're not warmongering like individuals like the Demon King and Supreme Deity, but they do hold a higher absolute order that the world has to maintain a certain level of both to be in proper equilibrium between all the realms. I don't know.
Either way, in both in the translation, in all three translations that we read, it says, even if you drive me out, you've awoken your inner demon lord power. You can't last a day in this mortal plane. So, just like you pointed out, whether it's his feelings returning to his body or whether it's the commandments being in his presence, he's awoken it. He's transformed. So, it may even be to a point where, like, regardless if he loses the commandments or not, he can't stay in this world. Is that a possibility too?
Absolutely.
Because that would contradict we're talking about power. Because we're talking about.
Look, if you think about it, because now I just had a flashback. When like prior to us knowing that the commandments can be absorbed, Zeldrus I think asked Meliodas, okay, so you want to break the curse? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna train to become as powerful as the Demon King? So I think that by him absorbing the commandments, first off, his curse was broken, so his body naturally aged. So I think he reached that level where he, I guess, can remain in the real world. It's not necessarily that his magical power has been activated, but he just grew naturally to that level without training, just by absorbing the commandments. I mean, yeah, like he unlocked that demon lord power within him, if you want to put it like that. Just by the sheer virtue of him breaking his own curse.
I think it has to do.
I agree. You know what? No, I kind of agree with Fang because if we were to take what he just said, right, that like his body naturally broke, essentially grew into the Demon King form. His soul technically was the one that awakened his power. If we really want to gets like the nitty gritty, he was the one who broke his dad's arm before he left for Britannia, and the Demon King even said, "It's like, yeah, it's like, oh, so you've awakened your power." So it's like, if we take that together, it's like he awakens his actual power, and his body is essentially awakened to to what he's supposed to be physically. Put the two together, he really can't stay. But again, I don't know why he can't stay. I don't know what is keeping him from staying.
I just don't want to be some stupid shit like. I don't know. Like it's really, I'm really like, when I say this, bro, I just fuck, dog. I hate when
What
you,
would you think would be
Zarso,
stupid?
when you and Naya go to like those logical arguments where like we should put this aside. This is shonen because like I want him to be a lot more in depth, but this is like the more I think about it, it feels like it's just gonna be one of those throwaway things where he just says, "Oh, it's just this," and it's not anything significant or a big plot point. It's been alluded to the entire storyline, the entire time. We've heard that quote before, so I just don't want it to be something as stupid as like or something stupid that's explained away in a single arc, or that can like be fixed by getting rid of the commandments. Like it's something big. Like this nigga can't exist. The Demon King just can't exist in the real world. He's that strong. Meliodas can't just lose all his power and shit. And I don't want to believe what Fang's saying that like that he's just by him unlocking the power, it's to that level. But like it's clear that the commandments are a catalyst for him unlocking his power, and he has his original magic now. So what does that mean? Can he just not like?
I mean, I also have
I'm
one
not saying
question
it's not big. I'm not saying it's not big, but right? It's like I agree with you. It's probably something big, but like think of it, right? Just think real quick. At the end of the day, we don't know what's gonna happen after this day. Melis has a day left. Elizabeth has a day left. Like, what's gonna happen? Is because I'm sorry, but you know your boyfriend's the strongest fucking dude in the land. If Meliodas, right, like you know, kicks the Demon King out and everything, right? Okay, you beat up your dad. You beat up your dad, right? Okay, cool. Your dad's done. Your dad's done, right? Okay. Your girlfriend's like in your arms, right? What exactly is gonna happen tomorrow? What on earth is gonna come tomorrow and kill your girlfriend and force you to leave? What?
I mean, at that point,
Well,
he can
I don't
break a
know
request.
why exactly, but I did find the page where it says where he destroyed the Demon King's arm, and it was Meliodas himself. It wasn't actually the Demon King who said it. It was Meliodas. He goes and says, "Now that I've woken my power, you're right. I was afraid because now that I've awoken my power, I know I can't stay there, but it's still what I've decided to do to stop you." Sort of idea. So he knows about this. There, like we might not be able to figure it out, but this isn't some manipulation like the Demon King pulled in this chapter with monologuing, because Meliodas was the one to state it first. He already knew that by doing this, he couldn't stay. What that reason is, as I said, now my argument does feel really weak, in honesty. That maybe his presence is just too strong for the world, because that wouldn't make sense. Meliodas would like either cast it away, lock it up, put it in a goddess
Which
amber the
chapter
size
was
of a
that,
moon.
by the way?
I couldn't find the chapter. I kept looking for it, but I found it on Google Images by searching Meliodas arc
It's
magic.
the chapter where he revealed his arc.
Oh, Meliodas
Oh, God.
You typed in what, nigga? What did you type in?
I did. You know why? Because a lot of people are on Grimm's side with that. I don't believe it was arc, but a lot of people are on his side with that. So I couldn't find it. So finally, I tried everything, and I said, well, maybe
you did the
Grimm's
dumbest.
fucking-
You
Yo,
typed down
shut
the
the
dumbest
fuck
thing
up.
you could.
Yo,
You typed
okay,
down the
shut the
dumbest
fuck
thing
up,
you
nigga.
could. I got you.
Meliodas of arc,
like,
bitch.
Doesn't have arc, bro.
Doesn't have
Dude.
arc.
If he doesn't, if he
Google
has
said
arc,
it.
why the fuck ain't he using it right now?
Google said he does.
Google ain't always right. That's those searches are based on what people think and what they type in.
So you telling
Exactly.
me
So
out of the
we
6
know
billion
you've been
people,
sitting there. You've been sitting
Out
there
of
typing
6
in
billion,
Google.
just because 6 billion, just because 30 billion people believe that Meliodas has arc magic doesn't mean it's true.
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
all
like,
right.
like I'm sorry. Like
I'm making a
really?
video. I promise you, I'm making a
I'm
video
making
now.
a video. I can't wait for for next week, right? Meliodas to come through and be like, this is my magical power, not arc magic, and then Grimm's video is like not even up an hour before. That'd be great. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I can't wait for
I'm gonna
that.
private that shit if it's not.
You petty as fuck.
All right, let's keep it popping then. Let's talk about this. Ban senpai, ban dono, ban sama greatness. What's going on? Opinions about
The
Ban?
hell was that?
That was
That was disturbing.
yeah.
So,
we can't.
So Bond cracked everything, bro. Like slam the fuck out this nigga, bro. What are your thoughts on Bond right now?
Heat.
No,
Heat.
Nah. Sorry, so you went last time, bro. Lead the way, Fang.
That's it.
It was Heat though. You're right. Fang, you there?
Yeah, I am. I mean, the fuck can I say? It is Bond. The whole, like I said in the beginning, the art was fucking awesome. It was amazing. Um, I'm not really sure because I mean, look, so the chapter ends with them in Melissa's mind. Bond's obviously not there because he's fighting the Demon King in the real world. Um, but he's kind of in a shitty position right now, and I guess it kind of makes sense because he got his guard down a bit when he saw he was doing so good. But also, I'm just waiting on fucking his sacred treasure. Like, I wanted to see that bitch ever since I saw it, in the Vampires of Edinburgh, like a side story. Where the fuck is it? Because this kind of tells me maybe Nakawa Suzuki changed his mind. Maybe he wants to continue the series past 1 year. Because where the fuck is it? Like, I just cannot wait for it. I just want to see what the fuck it does. Plus, now that Bond's, changed so much ever since his stay in Purgatory, like, what's up with that?
Grieve.
Because you'd think at some point he might find it or something, but I guess no, he's and that's also fucking insane because like, okay, you have these creatures like the Demon King can't stay in the world for whatever reason, but Bond is almost at that threshold. But I guess he's not a natural like a disaster or a natural plague, so he's allowed to stay. Like that's something that kind of gets me confused a lot. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, see, our like Bond. I don't know, man. Like, oh, Jesus. Like, all right, listen. Bond before Escanor showed up on scene, Bond was my favorite fucking character, and I think he still is. I think I like him that little bit more than Escanor. I think Bond's my favorite character in all of Taizai. So when I sit there and I can honestly say, yes, is it awesome to watch him actually put in the work, as Grimm likes to say. Yes, is it great that he's kicking ass and shit. Yes, did he get great power? I'm so happy for the character. But damn, man, I'm still unhappy about the way they went about it. I'm just not there with that. But I do like now at least it's making sense as to why Bond is managing to go a little blow for blow with this fucker. Like it's making some sense, you know. I don't know. It just seems like with the whole because the Demon King's distracted because once again I'm still in the impression that the there's an empty vessel of a body of the Demon King in purgatory. And right now, his mind or soul, or whatever you want to call it, is in the body fighting Meliodas and simultaneously trying to pay attention and fight fucking Bond at the same time.
While so controlling the body of Meliodas.
Right. So these things are very, you know what I mean? Like at least it's got a little better context.
The stakes make sense at this point. The stakes are actually pretty balanced out, pretty even.
Steaks are medium rare and sizzling. They're looking good. So I'm just saying that, yeah, like I'm like as I said, I can't hate on it too much because I love seeing Bond actually put in the like he's so badass. I just can't hate on it very much. Like I'm good with it, sort of, you know.
To I don't mean to skip you keep go around like that too. I would have been out of all the bush that we got right now. I would have been okay if we got 2 chapters, even though Griever said it would have been bullshit. 2 chapters of all the sins on the outside, just doing straight physical attacks at the DK. Failing every single time, but just straight physical attacks. An entire, 20-page widespread of all the attacks we know. Everything we fucking have. All of it. Everything that the 6 niggas out there had. Every single attack. That's what I wanted. I wanted that. And then we could go to, this chapter. It wouldn't even interrupt what's going on. But it looks like they skipped that or, they removed it because it wasn't necessary or they just didn't decide to do it. Like Grimm was
just question, Grimm. Why
I
would I have not liked that? Why specifically would I not have been okay with that?
Because you said that we were gonna spend 5 chapters of some.
Oh shit. Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. When and if, and I've been clarifying now. If in the end of the day the Demon King's kicked out and Meliodas gets his original body back, then yes, this has been a waste of time. It's been cool, but it's been a waste of a time storytelling plot-wise. It's just been a waste of week-to-week chapters. Doesn't mean that I wouldn't like to see it. I'm still enjoying Bond kicking ass. Still cool to see. It's just going to end up being irrelevant is my problem. And we're just going to be basically where we were at the end of 299. And I'm just going to sit there and go, well, okay, now we're at chapter 310, and we're in the same situation, except they beat the Demon King, but probably didn't beat him for realsies. And that's going to be, so that's my only issue. But yeah.
Kishin?
I really just liked the whole thing, but I did misunderstand the whole like Earthcracker move. I thought he like had the Demon King was like trying to hold on and was being pushed and making trenches. I didn't notice the other cracks when I read it the first time.
He slammed the fuck out his ass, bro.
I know.
What's up,
And
man?
that little house is just like it was so close to being annihilated, but 2 trees didn't make it. No.
I think I've been like over the last Boar side I told you guys I'm totally needed this, and like when I literally when I take it for the literal sense of how many actual years he was in there, like I don't think people are really understanding how fucking long he was in purgatory. He wasn't there for a day, wasn't there for a week. It was centuries upon centuries upon centuries. Like
1300, right?
you're going to get
Over
out
1,000 years, actually.
1300.
Yeah, it was
exactly like
around
you're
1,000.
going to get
So a millennia.
exponentially stronger
Millennia
from a
and a
harsh
couple centuries.
environment that's actively trying to kill you, and then when you go back into a very regular one, you're gonna be way stronger. It's like there is literally no issue here. I'm good. Bam out. Let's get
And
it.
he was fighting against the Demon King for 60 of those years. So
There
he
it is.
knows how the dude kind of fights.
Like you're fighting one of the, and like part of the like quote unquote training in a sense is you're fighting one of the strongest beings alive. It's like I don't have an issue.
Yeah.
He hasn't had the chance to shine from a combat standpoint in a very long time. This is good. This is good for him. I'm with it.
I'm just gonna piggyback on what Naya said, and honestly, some of the reasons why is kind of because of Meliodas. One of the first times we almost think we're gonna see Bond use his abilities, Meliodas stops from doing it. When Bond was gonna face off against Oslo and probably kill him, Bond was all like, "Stop it! You're still the same guy like you used to be. You're just gonna fucking like just rip him apart. Chill the hell out." Normally, Meliodas is the one keeping him at bay so he doesn't tear shit up. But right now, that's all he really can do is tear shit up. So everything that Bond's done so far, it all works for me. I mean, think about it. The only way to save your captain is to beat the ever living shit out of him. All right. I mean, like, who else would have beat? Like, who else would you expect to beat the crap out of Meliodas? There's no one else who I honestly want to see do it more than Bond. Honestly, I don't care. Like male
work.
versus Meliodas, no thanks. Zelda versus Meliodas, let me see that grown 6'7" man beat the shit out of a child, please. Give me that.
Well,
Give
he's
me
not
that.
so short now.
Still short. Shit.
He's not as short.
Still short. I think it's funny. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I really can't. I honestly am happy. Like again, Sacred Treasure wise, not gonna talk about it. We'll leave that for another day. He's just again like I've always fucked with the human characters. The fact that he basically reverted back to like his prior state as or like his status as a human while retaining a powerful body. I thought that was very very well done for his character. I didn't think Nagwa was gonna go like that route for an immortal. Most of the time when you think of immortal, you think, oh, that's like the ultimate being, if you shoot him and he like nothing's gonna happen, he's perfectly fine. Being completely invulnerable works just as much. So
let me see. All right, so Bond got stabbed.
Yeah, I thought it was a punch the first time, and then I was like,
yeah.
"Oh shit, those fingers have pierced."
Yeah.
Yep.
Pollen Garden, all kinds of invigorate, fucking the little night balls. Is Bond gonna die after this?
The fuck no.
I think
I doubt it.
It depends on how the next chapter starts. If everyone's fighting the Demon King on the inside, there's a good chance that he's probably going to be, distracted long enough for like Bond to do something. But again, I don't think that's gonna, take Bond out of the fight. A small thing like that.
Actually, now that I think about it, has Bond even used his snatch ability to try to depose the
Shouldn't be
the
doing
king?
that. Actually, should not be doing that. Should not.
Why
You
not?
better
That
tell
is
him
the
not
last
to.
thing.
He
He should not be doing that. Like,
Okay, why not?
because you're just gonna give him more power. I mean, the Demon King is a
Well, it
condition.
hasn't been established that he has the ruler ability.
It kind of has
Oh.
because Merlin said
It
that
kinda
magical
hasn't.
attacks don't work on the Demon King. Merlin even okay, here's the thing: if Merlin takes the time to tell King and Diane, don't use magical attacks on the Demon King, I think maybe we shouldn't use attacks on the Demon King because the ruler is
Yeah,
real.
but she has a history of fucking up. Like, didn't she forget that she was? Didn't the bitch forget she was immune to like the command? Was strong against the commandments? Is still got petrified?
Yo, so Fang's
You know
saying
how
in like
everyone
2
gets an
chapters.
assumption.
Oh, we could use magic, huh?
Oh shit!
Well, I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. Everyone in that bitch is old as hell. Like they forget shit all the time. Like Meliodas and Bond are like, we have like 375 matches, and then like they meet each other again. It's like, bro, it was like 5. If we want to talk about inconsistencies on like the numbers and like what people can do, like really, like let's be real. It's a like Nakaba knows how like Nakaba knows like the foolishness characters get into in his own story. I mean, he does write the shit.
I'm looking in 300, I believe, and I don't see her saying it.
301. No,
Oh no, yeah. She says in chapter 300. She says, "King Diane, remember, magical attacks won't work against." Yeah, so it seems like she's still assuming. Okay. So maybe
It's an assumption, but is it really a bad assumption? Like,
Yeah.
are you
no,
really
it's
going to
not
take
a bad
a chance?
assumption.
I mean, that's why I said
No.
earlier, like, I wanted 2 chapters of everybody just going straight hands. Pull out a chastity fold, pull out an arc blade, fucking bring out Gideon, nigga, suit up, run up on this nigga, dog. Like, do what you gotta do, bro. Put that hurt on this nigga for 2 chapters, bro. I wanted to get bust for 2 chapters, bro, but...
But you know what? Guess what? Honestly, this is literally the smartest thing, and it's giving us the most meat-headed battle I've ever seen, and it makes sense. It really does make sense because why would you ever take that chance? If you do anything, if you think that your special move that burns the shit out of your opponent is gonna work on that guy, and or maybe like you'll take your tangents and try and punch him in the face, kick him in the ball. I'd rather try and kick him in the balls because I'm not trying to get burnt with my own ability, or like have him like ruin my shit. Sorry, that's how it is.
I mean, look, either way, bro. We're not viewers. We're not saying that the choreography for the fighting this chapter wasn't fucking godly. Them niggas was in there putting that fucking work, bro. DK was out there, Bomb was out there, Meliodas was out there, niggas was out there doing their thing. But
dodging,
weaving,
bobbing,
parrying, like cutting, stabbing, fingering, like
slamming.
Fingering.
niggas was out there this chapter, bro.
I
It
forgot.
wouldn't surprise me if he like crunches his abs to like hold the wound until it's like, okay, when Elizabeth's done in there, I think she can patch me up.
Some
I hope she
Escanor
can
shit.
patch me up.
They closed up that cut.
Yeah, I don't think Bond really. I mean, it could still happen to give us a tragic part, but I don't think Bond's going to die just because. Remember, he finally got kind of his pseudo happy ending for the end of the series. Elaine's been brought back, and he's going to be able to die old with her. Once again, I have my problems with that, but nonetheless, they are both mortal again. They both are alive again. Facts, you can't be denied. He's getting his happy ending, so to speak. So then to kill him off after he just got his happy ending, I mean, it's not really bad one way or the other, but I'm leaning towards the fact that we're not going to see a death after he finally got what he wanted.
So basically, he has to fuck before he dies, right?
Basically.
Right. Exactly.
We can't. I'm sorry. I don't know about you, but 1,000 years in purgatory, man, shit. I don't know about you, but shit.
He probably had so much nut build up.
It's going down.
Oh,
You gotta hold this down.
What do you do? Fuck a dragon shadow or something?
Listen, man. After 1,000 years of purgatory, right? Some of them residents start to look a little thick.
Wild was looking really sexy, was he? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I don't talk about wild, but that centipede be looking kind of thick on the sides. You know what I'm saying?
God, no.
Love handles be kind of rolling around here and there.
God, you sound like Bill Cosby there for a second.
the pudding
You do
box.
not need to be channeling that man.
All right.
Yeah,
Final question. So since Elizabeth is literally touching him, she's touching Meliodas. So does that mean that they're going to be able to combatively assist him in here, or is it just some like psyche thing?
yes. Because
Yeah.
at this point, he needs the support. Remember, this is the weaker Meliodas. This is the weaker Meliodas. I mean, like he to me at least, I feel like he is the weaker Meliodas because like this was the same one who was fighting the Demon King back in the day. Sure, he awakened his power and everything, but emotionally he's still vulnerable. The Demon King, more than once, like his whole entire monologue destroyed his son and literally almost got him the W. That's how vulnerable this Meliodas is compared to the one who faced off against 3 holy knights at once. The same one who faced off against 2 commandments without giving a fuck. The one
didn't the Demon King say, like, here in this spirit world, to embrace despair is death? I mean, that's maybe it's the translation, but I took it as, when I first read it, just a quick read at work, I took it as, okay, so it's one of those worlds where things are magnified. So if you doubt, or you get sad, or you get angry, even
it's
for a
basically
moment,
a willpower battle.
Yes.
right. And then it's like, but see, he found one chink in the armor, and it's exploited automatically. And you can see Meliodas, he falls, he tries to get up from that, but the inkling thought, because he can't confirm. So there's just that shred of doubt, and here in this spirit
Yeah, but
realm,
also you have to keep in mind that this is the amalgam of Meliodas' emotions, so he will be more susceptible to the Demon King's trolling. When he's talking about, oh, your bitch is fucking dead.
Because he
We're
a
gonna
bitch.
see that hoe again.
Stop.
dude, he keeps trying to get up. He tries
He tries
twice in this chapter.
Yeah.
This is
But
the
he
same.
just-
I'm not saying the effects aren't amplified, but don't tell me it's because he a bitch, bro. Stop. Every nigga got feelings.
Well, okay, obviously, but remember, this is the same Meliodas that literally the Demon King was able to turn into a dragon because he despaired long enough to like become a resident of purgatory. So again, like this model.
Nigga, bro, don't ever say that shit again, bro. You acting like he wouldn't turn into a fucking
What?
a demon toad for 1 second in there, bro. I don't want to hear the bullshit, dog. That nigga lasted long as fuck. It's okay. So did Bond. Bond turned too. Is he a pussy for that? No.
I'm not saying they are, but I'm saying that's like it's like again, Meliodas is still growing clearly, like as a character. Like you can't tell me that he's perfectly fine. He got through all that stuff. He's still doubting himself. He's still I'm not saying that he hasn't changed. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that after facing off against the Demon King for as long as he did, like with Bond, that he didn't come back, with some power. I'm not saying that he didn't unlock his power. But again, the Demon King was able to literally use his words to fuck with Meliodas to the point where he was able to take him down. He was able to
and I agree. I'm not saying that he isn't weaker than the other form. I'm just saying that Fang pointed out that he may be more susceptible to like this verbal manipulation because it's his feelings and not the whole of Meliodas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I say, fuck, dog. Nah, nigga, nah. He's not a bitch. He's not a bitch for that. Niggas get emotionally, unstable sometimes.
That's true.
Here's how it goes. I want to ask all of you right now. If somebody, I don't care, your parents, your siblings, somebody called you right now and told you that a loved one was dead, automatically, it doesn't matter until you see that body. You're gonna, even if you're like, you're fucking pulling shit on me. I just saw him last week or something. How could they die? They're fine, like somebody young or something, right? But the doubt will still be there. You aren't going to 100% deny if you're told that somebody is dead. You're not going to be able to sit there. I don't care how much mental fortitude you have. You're not going to sit there and go, yep, no. You are going to have a shred of doubt until you see the body or until you see them alive. You're going to sit there and you're going to have that little bit of doubt, no matter how small. And as Fang pointed out, in this form, his mental fortitude, his emotions are basically, he's wearing them on his chest. And he's trying to fight it. He's trying to fight it. Twice, over and over, he's trying to get back up, but that shredded doubt is there, and he can't just erase it because he can't see outside. He can't confirm that the Demon King, first 5 seconds he didn't show up, boom, there, killed Elizabeth. Bond didn't show up right away, remember? And Meliodas doesn't even know anything that's going on outside. So it doesn't make any. It makes perfect sense to me.
Think about it, because in the chapter when Meliodas thinks about Elizabeth, he sees her as she was prior to you, like I guess awakening as a goddess, because technically this is the Meliodas that died versus the Ten Commandments that was killed by Starossa. So he doesn't really have any memories, I assume. After that, after he got revived, right? Because he was emotionless.
He may not, but Fang does bring up a good point that he's remembering an Elizabeth that had the like the Princess of Leonis. I mean, that could just be a flashback.
Yeah, that had her
idea.
right eye, covered by her hair.
You know what?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Yeah. You know what? You might be on something because technically Meliodas was dead and he didn't come back.
Yeah, he
never came
did
back
sort of,
in
but
a
he
sense.
came with, because remember they explained he comes back with a lot less emotion, and it took him many years to like try to build back up. That's why he went totally evil on Fraudron's ass right away, and that's why then later on he cried about it. But then he went back, and he was because his emotions, a large chunk of them were still locked in purgatory. So Fang's not wrong that maybe that was a larger chunk than what actually he had left after he came back.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
It does make sense, actually.
So so you're saying is this Meliodas, or the feelings of Meliodas are a lot more feelings than there are of something else, correct? Than there were before, correct?
Yeah, this is the sum. Remember, the Demon King was slowly, every time he died, the Demon King was slowly taking his emotions. And basically, we don't know where they went, but we can now assume by Fang's logic, and it makes sense to me, that they're now in purgatory. They were locked in purgatory in that kind of shadowy form, maybe not. And slowly but surely, he was adding to it until he had the whole fucking kit and caboodle of emotions.
Oh,
So
okay.
So now this is the
rather than like he's been there forever, right? Rather than
right. This is the full sum of his emotions that's slowly been adding up over the years. Every time he died, the Demon King took a portion of them, sent him back to the real world.
Yeah, that is the case. No doubt.
Yeah.
I don't agree with the Elizabeth part though. That he doesn't remember her or whatever. I think it's just how she was projected.
Not that
from the Galther thing. I think that's how she was projected in whatever spirit world they're in. I don't think he's not remembering that she's an angel or whatever the fuck.
I don't know. That was the last time he saw her.
Yeah.
Like this Meliodas emotions is the sum of the majority of when he knew the last Elizabeth. That's why Elizabeth, she's got the goddess eye and everything in the flashback, but she doesn't have the hair
She's
or the
still
double
wearing
eye.
like her little
Boar
outfit.
Yeah.
Are you guys implying that somehow the feelings of Meliodas don't recognize who Elizabeth is right now?
No.
He would recognize who she is right now, obviously. But when we're talking about that image that we see of her, that's what he remembers last of her. Like that's what she looked like. It's like before her head got cut by fucking Chandler, right? Like she had like the bangs and the earring and everything. That's what we're talking about.
Remember that Meliodas, because that Meliodas hasn't been to purgatory. That Meliodas has none of that information ever since he went rogue and she got her hair cut. Meliodas has not returned. He went into the cocoon and came back out as the Demon King. This Meliodas with the emotions never saw her with her haircut.
And that's why she grabbed his arm to touch her boob, and it's like, it's me.
Exactly, yeah. He could feel the heartbeat. Like, oh!
Y'all niggas. Ready? I don't really let it go unless it was funny, man.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Jeez.
Maybe that's why he always inspects her every time that he sees her.
Yeah, just make sure it's her.
You're the one I remember.
Hey, will we finally get my fan fiction come real? Demon King Meliodas shows up. They think he's all powerful, and then he looks up her skirt. He's like, "Yo, what's up?"
My question is his body gonna change again when the emotions get back to when everything gets back in sync? Or you guys think
I don't think so.
You think it's gonna keep? Because personally,
a permanent change? Are the fan base okay with that?
No, I'm not okay with the permanent change. Get that ugly thing off his arm. It looks like get that thing off his arm. Get back the dragon mark. Get back the proper dragon.
He still has his dragon tattoo, dude. It's just bigger now.
Yeah,
it's distorted as fuck.
Exactly. Looks like a.
What if he can remove the whole demon getup and he's just older and shit? Doesn't that make more sense? Because the curse will be gone, right?
Yes. He'll probably get rid of the suit because that's got a bunch of demon marks and shit all over it.
Get rid of the suit because his ass is a little too defined for my taste personally.
Hold on. Tell me, quick question.
Where's the dick print?
Now you're asking the real questions.
I didn't
Hold up.
want that question.
Shouldn't he be fucking? Shouldn't we see an appearance of 3,000 years or something like that? Not fucking adult form, because they can't live that long. They should be old and shit, right?
Well, I mean,
But then
remember,
again,
like, he's been
I mean, the
cursed,
Demon
man.
King has lived for like
Don't
what, a
think about
billion
him.
fucking years in purgatory. So maybe because he's just so strong, he's just like, oh yeah, well I'm aging, but not as much as a normal demon will. Because again, the Demon King survived for like how much in purgatory?
Like
Several
8
billion
million
years.
Yeah,
A
so
million, my bad. No, was it millions or was it billions?
It's been at least 8 million that we can. Well, I mean, well, no, wait. That might have been for the last 16 years, is how many years it would be in purgatory.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
know exactly when he was locked inside of purgatory for a date, so there's no way to know how many years exactly. Just
We can
been a-
assume.
yeah,
we
but
can at
my
least assume
point
it's been
is
3,000 years.
he lived for long as fuck. That was my point though, because yeah, normal demons. I think it was said that they live for about 1,000 years, but
Mhm.
clearly, I mean, they're different. And also, we don't really know how the Demon King like conceived the Midgard and Zelda. Do they have a mom? Did he create them in the same way he created the original demon? Uh, like maybe.
Well, they have a mother, so you can assume that they were clearly like birthed. Like
I mean, well, do
that
we have any
wasn't-
info on their mom?
besides the fact that she had a pussy.
No, but it's like I mean, has she ever been referenced ever in the story?
Not a single time.
No,
No.
no. A fan asked a question, and we got an answer.
What'd he say?
So that was
Said
it.
yes,
They have a
they
mom.
have a mother. They asked,
okay.
and Nakaba confirmed and said, yes, they do.
Huh.
And then that's when the
Okay.
Demon King lifts up his arm. It was me.
He had a pussy in his elbow, bro.
And then Aizen shows up and says, you think you're seeing the Demon King right now.
According to Keikaku.
And then Gota comes through. He's like, you thought that the story was gonna be over, right? Well, I mean, it's
There
been
we
over
go.
years actually.
There we
It's been
go.
over
Wheelchair
forever.
Gother's mindfuck versus
Yeah.
Aizen's mindfuck. Now
And then
there's
Kira
a mindfuck.
reveals
That right
himself.
now,
The
see,
whole
now that's
series
Now I know
was
your
my
name.
fan fiction.
fuck.
Why do you think I had to sit in this chair? Because it took this long to write it. I had to
Yeah, you
stay
think my
at the
legs are
desk.
broken? My legs ain't broken, bitch. I've just been sitting down. It's all right.
They're just... Yeah,
That's how
what's
Mafia
the word?
works.
Like, I haven't left this chair in forever, so what's the word?
The chair is way too comfy.
Anyway,
All right, guys. That was it for today's 302 discussion. I want to thank everybody who came through. Naya, Griever, Fang, Kishin, myself, and you guys.
fuck
And-
you. I hear
and
you. I hear
And
you.
the random last
Oh yeah, I would like
person.
to think myself the greatest person on this panel and ever. So big ups to myself for being so fucking awesome.
Kudos to Fang. Kudos to Fang.
Kudos to Fang.
Like, subscribe, guys. We got more shit coming for y'all boys. Check out the Monsters Anomaly series. We're voting on which monster we should cover next. I believe the options are Escanor, Boros, Garo, the Devil Fruits, and we have one more option. I forgot what it is. So check out all our social media on Twitter, on Amino, or on Reddit to vote for that. And we should get the video within the next 2 weeks for that. Check out Fang's channel. We did a discussion over the top 7 or the strongest 7 deadly sins in order. So check out that video too. It's a really good one. Check out Naya's discussions for TOG. Check out Kishin's live reactions and stuff like that. I believe he's doing comics a lot more too. So if you guys switch up your content, you like different things, you can check out his channel.
I've got a summer event coming.
Oh, he finna twerk for the summer, huh? All right. Check out that twerk video.
It's just a comic series. But I've been doing Promise Neverland read-throughs on stream.
Oh, nice. All right, bet. So yeah, the content, guys, and we'll see you boys next time, man. Yo ho ho!